All right, I'm gonna answer questions later on in this video, and I'm gonna get to a few more updates. But first, I gotta tell you something that's really been bothering me lately. You may have seen videos on YouTube with titles about a newly approved $1,000 stimulus check. Well, in my opinion, that's complete BS. It's misleading and deceptive, and anyone misleading anyone during this time right now can go screw off. Now, there are some other folks creating legit content right now about the stimulus. I'm not trying to say I'm the only one. Clear Value Tax, for example, another CPA, is producing very good content pertaining to the stimulus. It's very legit, very to the point. There's some other good ones too, but he's the one I can think of right now, okay? But what's really pissing me off is these other YouTubers, non-financial professionals. They're more marketers than finance experts. Just people chasing clicks and views who seem to me, and after I tell you what I'm talking about and give you some examples, you can research them yourself and let me know if you agree with me or not. These other creators are creating these incredibly misleading clickbait titles to prey on the collective desperation of the American people right now to rack up the clicks and the views. If you're a YouTube creator doing this right now, please stop. This is a time to help people and provide accurate information with accurate headlines and not sensationalize things and give people false hope. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's okay to make money during a crisis, but it's not okay to make money from a crisis. And you're making money from a crisis if you pump out clickbait content, knowing that desperate people looking for any good news right now, particularly good financial news, will click on it. I'm going to give you, my viewers, examples of what I'm talking about, in particular in just a minute. But to give some context here, okay, here's the first update for the day. Yesterday, the House signed the Paycheck Protection Program and Healthcare Enhancement Act. Earlier today, Trump signed it. This is the $480 billion relief package, okay? I told you this would happen in updates earlier this week. I told you the House would pass it on Thursday and Trump would sign it on Friday, today. We knew this would happen. I've gone over what this act is about, but just to review, basically it's additional funding for the SBA loan programs, the Paycheck Protection Program, and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, the EIDL. And there's also funding in there for hospitals and COVID testing. And just like I told Key when he asked this question yesterday, it is infusing $10 billion into the EIDL grants. It's the Economic Injury Disaster Loan grants. And by the way, this money is going to go fast, just like the original money, right, for all these programs, all right? Anyway, the EIDL is the $1,000 per employee grant for small business owners, independent contractors, sole proprietors, okay? This has been around since the CARES Act was signed into law by President Trump on March 27th, almost a month ago. When that application came out for those grants, I did a walkthrough right here on the channel in March, almost a month ago, showing you exactly what you need to do to get them. Old program, okay? This isn't some new program that Congress just passed. These are not new $1,000 stimulus checks. This is new money for an old program, okay, or at least a month-old program. And if you're a business owner or independent contractor, i.e. someone who's eligible for this money, you've probably known about this for weeks now. $1,000 per employee grant up to $10,000. And what's pissing me off, and I hope none of you are falling for this, but what's pissing me off right now are these videos I'm seeing that are presenting, at least in their titles, like this is some new round of $1,000 stimulus checks. And in my opinion, they're confusing and misleading people at a time when correct information is of paramount importance. Look at this channel, Meet Kevin. He basically got over 1 million people to click on this video with the title, Extra $1,000 Stimulus Checks Just Approved. I know I'm basically helping him here because I know a lot of you are going to click on his stuff now, so you're welcome, Meet Kevin. But I mean, if you saw in your feed on YouTube, right, if you saw that, I mean, who wouldn't click on it? I mean, especially right now because a lot of people are talking about the stimulus, the $1,200, and they see, wow, Extra $1,000 stimulus checks just approved? Okay, let me check that out. I mean, what is that implying? To me, that is implying a new round of stimulus checks similar to the ones that are going out right now. But that's not what's going on. This is just additional funding for a grant for small business owners and independent contractors administered by the Small Business Administration. Okay? Something, by the way, that already has a huge backlog. Let me just put that out there. And take a look at this. Every time something happened with this act that was just enacted today, look, a new video. Look, in the past 2 days, 1, 2, 3, 4 videos, probably by now totaling over 2 million views on the supposed extra $1,000 stimulus checks. Look at this one. Oh, the House passed it, over 500,000 views. We all knew at the beginning of the week that the House would pass it, okay? But if he wants to do an update every time Congress farts, fine. More power to him. That's his right, okay? And that's not really what I have a problem about. My problem is with these misleading titles, especially this one. Extra $1,000 stimulus checks just approved. This is, in my opinion, completely misleading. See, when I look at extra $1,000 stimulus checks just approved, that implies to me, maybe not to you out there watching this, but to me, this implies to me that Congress or somebody has just approved another round of stimulus checks for $1,000 to the American people. Okay? I mean, what else could that possibly be construed as? I mean, am I off here? Isn't that what it sounds like to you? If you saw this, you'd think that meant stimulus checks, and that's why 1 million people clicked it, right? And it was trending. But that's not what happened at all. What happened is these EIDL grants that we've all known about for over a month now for small business owners, independent contractors, and sole proprietors are getting more funding. Okay, just like I've explained in previous videos, just like I told Key yesterday, that's it. Obviously, there are other components to the bill that I've spoken about previously, but when these YouTubers are referring to this $1,000 stimulus, all they're referring to is this EIDL grant. So am I off here? What do you think? Am I being too harsh on this guy? Do you think this title, extra $1,000 stimulus checks, do you think it's misleading? Or am I just being a stickler? Let me know in the comments if you think I'm right on with this or if I'm a little off, okay? I mean, maybe it's because I'm not a marketer. Maybe it's because I'm a CPA and my concern is with accuracy, okay? Even in the headline, right? And not just clicks and creating clickbait, okay? Speaking of misleading, so you remember previously we talked about the car dealership in Illinois that sent out mailers that implied that inside was something related to stimulus information. Well, another dealership did this in Florida. Traffic Jam Events LLC and its owner David J. Jensen II sent mailers to over 35,000 individuals for a big old car tent sale at his dealership in Bushnell, Florida. And now the Florida Attorney General is going after him. So I say good. Okay, another stimulus news. Today, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed an executive order preventing private debt collectors from garnishing stimulus payments. This is retroactive, okay? Other states have previously done the same thing, and I expect to hear more of this in the near future from state governors. Newsom said that if you owe child support, this doesn't apply. If you owe victims for some crime you committed, it doesn't apply. If you owe alimony, this doesn't apply. Okay, let's move on to questions. Oh, first, this morning, since more stimulus checks are going out, I made a video on how to spot a fake stimulus check. So I basically go through various components of the real stimulus checks and say, hey, if your check doesn't look like this, you probably got a fake on your hands. I tell you what to do. So you got a fake check, so check that out. All right, let's move on to questions. By the way, the IRS is doing maintenance in the middle of the night. Okay, they did it last night, tonight, and tomorrow night on the Get My Payment tool. Okay, critical update, supposedly. Hopefully they will fix it and get rid of that payment status not available message, okay? So just FYI, I'm not going to be answering any questions right now about the Get My Payment tool. It sucks. We know it sucks. It's frustrating. But the IRS is looking into this tool. They're supposedly doing critical updates, so be sure to check it out after they're done, okay? So for all you non-filers out there, right? A lot of you non-filers in the comments I'm seeing, hopefully after the IRS does this system maintenance, critical update, whatever, in the middle of the night tonight, tomorrow night, you will have answers to your specific questions about when your stimulus is to arrive on the Get My Payment tool, okay? Most of the questions I saw in the comments were about the Get My Payment tool. I've covered all that I know about that in previous episodes, okay? So for your specific payments, the Get My Payment tool, after it's updated, will hopefully shed some more light, all right? So only a few questions today, because so many of the questions I saw pertain specifically to the Get My Payment tool. Okay, Patty asks, is there a list of states that are working or not working for unemployment? Patty, I'm assuming you're referring to the $600 in additional unemployment. Well, from what I understand, 6 states, Kansas, Connecticut, Idaho, Washington, Wisconsin, and Ohio, still haven't worked out the kinks with that. And you can check out my April 14th stimulus update, where I go in depth as to why it hasn't been rolled out yet in these states. It's a technology issue, basically. If you're referring to which states' websites are functioning right now and not crashing, in terms of their unemployment portal, I don't know. I haven't tested every single one. I've heard of lots of states' unemployment websites crashing, but I know that some of them have guidance like, hey, if your last name starts with A through M or something, use the website on this day, just to kind of traffic flow, keep a handle on the website traffic. So Richard says, Alec, can you tell me if you know what date I should expect my stimulus direct deposit? Who don't file income tax. I did not file for 2018, but I did file by mail in late March or early April, but did not have to because I live totally on my Social Security payments. It is my understanding that IRS will get my direct deposit information from the Social Security office. Yeah. Okay, you also gave them your direct deposit info under the non-filers method. So, I doubt the IRS has processed that paper return yet, but yes, the IRS will get your information for Social Security and deposit it along with your monthly benefits. I'm assuming that that's the same direct deposit information that you input under the non-filers. So supposedly this week, right? That was what they originally said, but it's looking more like next week. So hopefully by the end of the month, Social Security receive direct deposit, will get their payment. Angela asks, hi Logan, I have a question for you. My father passed away on April 18th, 2018. I'm sorry to hear that, Angela. Like myself and my sister, he was on SSI for disability. His checking account was closed in August of that year. With hearing that people who are deceased getting checks, I'm wondering if he'll get a check and if it'll be sent to his last known address, and if we'd be able to keep it if we get it. I don't know if he will receive a check. Right? On April 16th, I went into the reasons why a deceased individual might receive a check. But the question of, can you keep it? Well, Trump said that he wants to get, the checks back from all deceased individuals that they went to. I don't know if that will happen. Seems like pretty small potatoes, and the government probably has bigger issues. I've talked about this in a previous video. I would say if you do get it somehow, keep it, deposit it, unless the government says otherwise, right? That's all you can really do, All right, Eggmaniac says, questions for you, my good man. My ex, she owes back child support. Her husband claimed her on his 2018 taxes. Will she lose her $1,200? Well, so she's not eligible if she owes child support. Okay, I know some states are doing a good job of routing, that sees child support to the individual to whom the child support is owed. I'm not sure what you mean by her husband claimed her on his 2018 taxes, because you can't claim your spouse as a dependent. Do you mean they filed jointly? Or maybe they weren't married in 2018, not sure. Okay, maybe the nature of your question is, okay, you're thinking that maybe you might get her stimulus, right, because she owes you child support? Well, okay, let's say that they weren't married in 2018 and he supported her, okay, and he claimed her as his dependent, okay, because, she didn't work or something, and he supported her. So in this case, let's say they were married in 2019. Well, they're married in 2019, now they're married filing jointly. Then as long as she's otherwise eligible, she would be eligible for the check, right? Not claimed as a dependent anymore. Okay, so if that's the case, then theoretically she'd be eligible for it, but it would be seized, right, because of her past due child support. And maybe, if you're lucky, the state works out for you, that will get routed, to you, maybe, right? I've seen Michigan is doing a good job at this. They put out some press releases saying, hey, for seized stimulus checks, we're going to make sure they go, to the individual who is owed the child support. Okay. Okay, that's it. It has been a very long week. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I hope you are too. It's going to be hot. It's in the 90s right now. I hope it cools down next week. But hey, when you check that Get My Payment tool this weekend after tonight's maintenance, tomorrow night's maintenance, I really hope it works for you, right? I really hope you all get your stimulus checks so that I can start creating and investing in more content about credit, investing, real estate, all that stuff I love to talk about other than the stimulus. But as long as the stimulus is still on your minds, I will continue creating stimulus content and stay away from clickbait. All right? So stay safe, y'all.